So what's next for these businesses, members of the Black community, and people living in Madison during this movement for racial justice? Mr. Claude Gilmore from Madison's Black Chamber joins us this morning to talk about what else needs to be done. Mr. Gilmore, thank you for joining us again.
Well, you're welcome. Thank you for having me.
It's been a tough week. You're instrumental in the city's scene here for possible changes, and some of those changes you say are already underway. What is happening right now?
Well, there's a number of motions that are underway, especially around the issue of what we should be doing to address imagining public safety being redesigned, and really a serious discussion about some community investment economically, because the pain is being felt on so many different levels. It's going to require a lot to make our community whole and our people whole.
Do you have any specifics here? What specific changes are coming?
Well, specific changes is that I think the Common Council and the mayor are proposing a civilian oversight board, which I think is going to be very important to engage the local activists and citizens and elders and people who look and like our community to be a part of that. And then there's a police monitor that they're setting up to be independent, to really do an oversight. And secondarily, I think it's going to be important that we look at what the new police chief's responsibility should be, because a lot of that has to change, because the police, the way of policing is being done is not helping our community. As a matter of fact, it's causing a lot of pain, as you might know, as a result of what occurred regarding Jacob Blake, who we offer our prayers to the family for his recovery.
A lot of protesters here in Madison and across the state are understandably still really angry about everything that's going on. Have you developed these policies after talking to them in response to their actions? How have you come up with these? Young people want to know that they're being listened to.
I think part of that is that there have been a lot of input that came in to the Common Council through the people who are their constituents, but we also have talked with the mayor and had conversation about how can we do this differently. What we have been doing is not working, and it certainly has not been helped, especially with the exposure from the pandemic, as well as for the impact economically people are continuing to go through as a result of the continued pandemic. Evictions and layoffs and closures are impacting people of color, both brown and black.
And let's talk a little bit about that economic impact, because I think that's what angered a lot of people who are not out protesting this week. What can you say to people who have turned, some people, a very small portion of protesters have turned things violent? Do you understand why, and why should they not be doing that?
I understand why, because I think there's some anger. You got to understand the anger involved here. For example, regarding Jacob Blake. Jacob Blake, whatever the circumstances involved with he and the police, there seemed to be no justification to be shooting that young man in the back 7 times. Yet and still a vigilante of a 17-year-old with an assault rifle can walk down the street. He actually shot 2 people, injured another one, and somehow got home, and the police did not pick him up. So that's the kind of pain we're talking about, and that's the kind of anger we're talking about. But there's no justification for people doing that kind of damage that are outside of the sphere of protesting. Protesting about is raising your voice. It's not about doing damage. So we don't support that kind of activity.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Mr. Gilmore. Obviously, this is a conversation that needs to continue in the days, weeks, months, years ahead. So we will be sure to check back in with you, hopefully after some change is put in place. But until then, have a great day.
Thank you. Appreciate it.